Hello, how are you all doing? So welcome to Only Fools and SAFC. But again, so a brand new feature on the show this season. We're looking to try and get opposing fans on to do some match previews. And I'm delighted to welcome James from E20 Zone TV from West Ham. How are you doing, mate?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Looking forward to the season coming back. It's been long overdue. We've got the buzz now, haven't we? Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm all good, mate.
I hate pre-season, mate. It's a long old road, and it seems to be an age between, especially when you've not really got nothing in between. I know the women's Euros have been on, but it's a long old pre-season.
Yeah, it's just, it's one of them ones, isn't it, where you just sort of like, it just drags a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just appears on you. But it's good to have the Premier League back. Our weekends are going to be ruined on the regular now.
I'm hoping we're not going to both be struggling, but you never know. So just to touch on, so from your perspective, how do you see West Ham shaping up this season? I mean, I've been looking at some of your transfer business this summer, and I think you've lost, a few key players and not really replaced them very much. So, what's your thoughts on how your transfer window has gone, and what's your thoughts on this season?
I'm a little bit concerned. I am. There's a midfield area that hasn't been addressed from last season, and we've got Graeme Potter in charge, who needs the help and the style that he's trying to do. The players don't fit the style that he wants to try and do, basically. For me, I think the start is key for West Ham. All right, if West Ham start slow, then we're going to be fighting uphill, and we could be in a bit of a scrap. Do I think we'll go down? I don't think we'll go down, but we're relying on too many people. We're relying on too many individuals at the minute, and Jared Bowen's one of them who seems to carry this team on his shoulders. We haven't really replaced anyone as yet. We've signed Hermansen, who I think is a really good signing. Malik Dew for left wing back, who's a brilliant signing that we've signed. Callum Wilson, who I'm not on it. I'm not. And Carl Walker-Peters, who I think is a good backup option. West Ham do need to act, though, in the next sort of few weeks, because I'd be very surprised if they go with just them 4 players at the minute. I've
seen some of the videos that you did about Kudus. That one must have smarted a bit with them going to Tottenham.
Not half, mate. Not half. I just thought it was an insult, Wayne. If you want me to be honest, they're selling the player, and there's selling the player is one thing. Going to your rival club and asking them to take the player off your hands is something else, and that's something where it's not just bad enough selling to them. It's pretty offensive. You know what I'm saying? To go there, it's like Sunderland going to Newcastle and asking them to buy one of the players. It just doesn't happen, and it's just been a ripple effect this summer, especially with West Ham, with things. We've had the Kudus situation that has gone, the Paqueta situation, which has been circling, and that's finally gone. There's been so much, but yeah, selling to Mo to Spurs is a bit of not a nice taste in the mouth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that didn't go down too. Like you say, it's like one of our players heading to Newcastle just doesn't sit right with anybody. But you touched on Graeme Potter there. Are the fans behind Graeme Potter? Because he didn't really, when he came in last season, you didn't really have a good end of the season, did you? I know he didn't have the players to kind of do what he wanted, but is he going to struggle this season with not being back in the transfer window?
I'm concerned for him, but I don't really blame him. I blame the ownership for allowing him to have a team that he's not really happy with. This falls really on the ownership for me, rather than Graeme Potter. Graeme Potter's in there to develop players. He's developed a young player that you're probably going to see Saturday in Freddie Potts. He's come in. He's integrated him in pre-season. I'm not really like people say about style, and I know style is important in football, but also winning games of football is also important. And I do feel that Potter's fighting uphill with a style that he just hasn't got his players. He's only had 2 of them, and I'm looking at the ownership more than him, especially coming up to the end of the transfer window. I expect Potter to have a few more players before then, and hopefully he can reassess it over the next sort of few transfer windows. But other fan base behind him is very, very split at the minute. Some people look at him and think he's a problem, that he's too negative in games. He plays this sort of 3-4-3 or this 5-3-2 system that people want to see a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 and go at teams. And he likes to control a game. He likes to score, control, and sort of wear the team down, and then try and get another one. And he's not a flamboyant football manager. He's a basic manager who knows how to win games in a style that sort of suits him. So I'm a bit. Everyone's going to be watching Potter from now to sort of Christmas and see where we're at. But I don't really blame him, mate. Like, if it all goes wrong, I feel like he's been thrown under the bus because of the ownership haven't really backed him in this situation.
I thought that. I mean, when I saw that you'd signed Callum Wilson, that really raised my eyebrows, because I thought, the injury record he has, to be taking a punt on him as your main number 9, and it's a big risk, I think.
Yeah. Callum Wilson's another one. Like, yet again, like, if it ain't the Hammere Kudus thing, it's the Callum Wilson thing. And it's just been, as I say, it's been a mad old summer. For me, Callum Wilson shouldn't be at West Ham. Like, I look at it, that's a cheap signing, that because they haven't got no money, and they are trying to just fill a spot because of the replacement of Mikel Antonio. Now, Mikel Antonio has gone. He won't be playing for West Ham again, and replacing him with Callum Wilson, who's an injury-prone player, this doesn't really sit right. But he's here. We expect it and just deal with it now, because there's nothing really we can do. But only time will tell on that. Because one thing with West Ham fans is, if he don't put his weight, they'll be onto him straight away, and they'll be all over him, and we will see.
That's like us, as long as players are trying 100%, then you can get away for a little bit. But if they're not trying, they find you out straight away. Touching on that, so we've just signed one of your ex-players, Artem Masuaku. So what's your thoughts on him? Have we getting a good player? What can we expect from him?
Arthur's a character, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got all the tricks. And listen, he went out to Turkey, and obviously he's come back now. He's at Sunderland. He's a good kid. Like, I think he's 31 years old now, but when he was with us, he was about 25, 26, I think it was. And you know what? Going forward, he can do some damage. He's got a bit of pace, he's got a bit of flair. If you want him to defend for you, he's not the guy. He's simply not the guy. He's not very good defensively. But I tell you what, he can cover in a left wing back position. He can cover in at sort of wing back roles or winger roles, because he has played winger role at West Ham before. So you've got a player who's going to come in and sort of get the ball and carry it up the pitch. Now, that's one thing Sunderland might need, is ball carriers. So when there's pressure on, you got someone who can pick the ball up and drive out of defence and get away from danger. He can do that. As a defender, 1-on-1, he's not for us. And then that's the reason why we let him go in the end, because he's not good defensively, but he can score a sort of peach of a goal from time to time. But I'm just hoping it ain't on Saturday. That's what I'm going to say. So, yeah.
Besides that, he comes and bangs in against you at the weekend. But I mean, I think we're going to be playing kind of a counter-attacking style anyway, so he might fit into that quite well. If we're trying to catch things on the break, if he's pacey, then hopefully, that might fit into his style. But come up with that first game on Saturday, then, what's your general thoughts on Saturday? Are you looking forward to it? Are you nervous? Are you excited by it?
I'm concerned because I know that the Stadium of Light's going to be rocking at 3:00 in the afternoon. I know you're going to have tons of Mackhams in there going absolutely berserk, on the return to the Premier League. I also know that if West Ham go a goal down, they don't spin games around from a losing position. Do you know what I mean? So one thing with us is we've got to contain you for a little bit, because you're going to come out the traps fast. We don't really start games fast. And if you score early, then the whole fan base is up for it straight away. I think we've got players to hurt you. I think Nicholas Füllkrug's on form. I've seen throughout pre-season, he's been scoring goals. Jared Bowen is what he is. He's the one who carries this club on his shoulders. And we've got, obviously Lucas Paqueta will be in there. Freddie Potts will be in the midfield. But the midfield is a problem for us, because we've got a player in there, James Ward-Prowse, who if Sunderland sort of bypass that midfield, then we're open, and up one offer. And obviously there's a player that you will see on Saturday who I believe will really go to the top, and that's Malik Diouf. We've signed him from Slavia Prague. He's a left wing back. He's dynamite. He goes up and down the wing. He crosses balls in, peach delivery every single time. And if you can stop the crosses from him, you might stop our supply. If he starts letting crosses in, and there's Souček and Füllkrug there, then we could do some damage to us.
I think set pieces might be a key at the weekend. Like you say, you've got some good height in there, and if you've got good delivery, then we could be susceptible to that. So it might be one area where we'll look at the weekend. But I think it's going to be a decent game. We are looking forward to it so much. Our first game back in 8 years, like you said, and it will be rocking. So I'm just really looking forward to getting back at it and just being back in the Premier League again. It's just going to be a massive occasion. What's your score prediction for the weekend? How do you think you'll do?
I am nervous, but I definitely think we can get a point out of there. That's the one thing I will say. As long as the game goes, which I think according to plan. Do you know what I mean? If Sunderland come out and they score early, you could roll us out the ground, right? And because you be bouncing. The longer the game stays at 0-0, the better it is for us, and we are able to score goals, but we can see goals and all. And that's the problem. We've got match winners in the side, but then we've also got people that are not very good, especially in the defensive areas. So I'm going to go for a draw. Right, I've seen West Ham a few times at the start of the seasons go for a draw, and it ends up being a draw. So I'm going to go for a draw on this one. I think Sunderland are going to come out. I think they're going to be up from the start. I think if we can contain them, then we can get something out of the game. If you score early within the first, say, 20 minutes of the game and use a bouncing, I will be fearing for us. I will be because it'll be everyone will be looking at the recruitment and what's really going on at West Ham. And there's also another thing I'm going to say. Also, is there's going to be a young midfielder in Freddie Potts. It's going to be interesting to see how he copes because this is his first Premier League game. He's been playing it all out through pre-season. He's ready to rock and roll, but is he ready for the Premier League? And we're going to know. If you got Xhaka and you got Potts, you got experience against youth. We're going to see who wins the day on that.
Is he a DM like James? Is he that where he plays in that kind of DM role, or is he a...
Yeah, he's a young lad who's come through the academy. He went on loan to Wickham 2 years ago. Then he come back and went on loan to Portsmouth last year. He's been we've had midfield problems at West Ham, and we need midfielders in there with energy. And what it is, he's very calm on the ball. He's very good on the ball. Passes very well. Doesn't really get flustered in any way. But the problem is pre-season, everyone can look cool, calm, and collective. When you've got an atmosphere there and you've got people baying for your blood, sort of thing, it's a different scenario. We all know it, and I just hope he doesn't get caught in like a rabbit in headlights situation where he goes, "Wow, this is a bit too much for me." So he's going to need Paqueta next to him, who's going to probably be with him, and it's probably going to be James Ward-Prowse who's going to be next to him. If they can if he can get through this game, then we'll know where we are with Freddie Potts.
Good stuff, I mean, I think a draw wouldn't be a bad result for both sides, to be fair. You know, our first game back to get a point on the board early would probably be a decent result. But I'm hoping that, like you say, we're up for it, and if we can get that early goal, I'm going to go for a sneaky 2-1. But I say I wouldn't be displeased with a point either, to be fair. But, you know, bear in mind what you've been saying there about your transfer window and where you are at this moment in time. Where do you think you're going to finish this season? Where you think you could finish? Do you think you could go down potentially with where you are? Or?
As I've said before, when we're relying on individuals a lot. Right, if Jared Bowen gets injured, then I don't know where the goals are coming from. And Nicholas Vorkrug is a striker who's a very good striker, but he was injury prone ever since he's been here. Do I think we'll go down? No, I don't think we'll go down, but I don't think we're going to have a great season. I think we're going to probably finish about 14th, but I do think we are going to be in a relegation battle though. And I think what it is, our quality will show. The January window will come around, and if West Ham need to fire money at it, they will, to make sure that they don't go down. But I think we're asking a lot of individuals in our side. Freddie being one, Jared Bowen, Nicholas Vorkrug, to name them boys. They've all got to perform week in, week out and basically progress us up the league. Now, I think also the first 5 games of any season really show where you're at. Like if we start slow, and we've got obviously Used Boys on Saturday, then we've got Chelsea, then we've got Nottingham Forest away. That's a tough start. Do you know what I mean? And if we start off when we first 3 games and we don't have a point on the ball, then the alarm bells are going to start ringing, if I'm honest.
Right. I mean, just before we wrap up there, I seen something linked today. Matheus Fernandes from Southampton. Is there any truth in that? I mean, he's a cracking sign. So you want midfielders? He looks a decent player. Yeah.
We put a bid in the other day, which if I'm being honest, I thought it was a bit of a lowball bid. For me, it's on the ownership of West Ham. The ownership's the problem at West Ham. And if you had a more ambitious owner, you would have had that man out of there. Obviously, he scored last night for Southampton, scored the winner in the cup game. I think we will go back in for him with a bid, but Southampton are very good side at selling players, and they really get the value of the player. So I think we go back in for him. Do I think we get him? I'm going to say no. I think we're going to change tack and we're going to go for other options and go from there. But it's 3 weeks out and we haven't addressed the midfield, which is the major key in West Ham's problems from last season. Like the reason why West Ham was so bad last season because the midfield kept getting overrun. And if Sunderland do that against us on Saturday, we're going to see the same things happen again. So yeah, we'll see. But I'm going to say no. I don't think we get Matheus Fernandes.
Worrying signs, mate. Worrying signs. I mean, what you will see most of the weekend is his energy in the midfield because Siddiqui and Diarra, Siddiqui in particular, you think there's 3 of them. He's all over the pitch. But it should be an interesting matchup. I'm looking forward to it. You know, thanks for coming on. I do appreciate it. Just before we wrap up, you know, do you want to give a shout out to the channel?
Yeah, listen, you can follow me on E20 Zone TV. I'll be doing an after fault player ratings on the game on Saturday. Straight after the game, after fault, I have a load of West Ham fans on, and I have fans on. Like, there's a link in the chat. Anyone can come on and have their say on E20. So yeah, check it out, subscribe, and like the videos.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. So don't forget, give this video a like if you don't mind. Subscribe to the Only Frozen SCFC. Head across to James's channel, E20 Zone TV as well. Give him a shout and give him a sub. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later. Ta-ra.
Sunderland's where we live and fight with pride.